Welcome to Color Me Home, a podcast about paint
and decorating
and home improvement
and creative projects
and pretty much whatever else comes up in the conversation. I'm Dan.
And I'm Betsy. Thanks for tuning in. Now, last time we talked about some creative projects that are perfect for kids' rooms. Today, we're going to discuss ways to create unique storage solutions in your home by repurposing old furniture.
Now, most of us have extra furniture, extra stuff, extra junk in our basements, in our attics, in our trunks.
I was just going to say it's so much better than in your trunk, and you went there.
I was going to take that out, but I left it. See, repurposing is finding another use for all of that stuff. We take something that we don't really have a use for, and we find a new way to use it, sometimes by making physical changes to the item, and sometimes just by using it differently.
Either way, projects like these are incredibly fun and rewarding because you get to stretch your creativity to its limits, make new items out of old ones, and potentially create some very interesting conversation starters in your home.
All right, we've got a lot of projects that we want to talk about today, so let's get started. And let's start with entertainment centers. Now, new HDTVs are cool, right? They're light, they're easy to move around.
Awesome.
They provide you with a great picture, and on and on and on and on.
Yes.
Now, one negative thing, though, is that they typically don't fit nicely into the entertainment centers that so many of us have or had. And it kind of leaves us wondering, what do we do with those things? You know, we've got this great big piece of furniture that really no longer serves its intended purpose. Do we garage sale it? Do we mission it?
Well, how about this? I have a much better idea for you.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
And even if it's not, you'll tell me that it is.
Exactly.
Right.
Rather than sell them or give them away, why not repurpose them or recycle them into useful items again? Here are just a few of the ideas that we came up with and that we've seen online to get you thinking about some things you can use. Now, I saw this really cool thing, of course, on Pinterest, because that's where all great ideas stem from anymore.
All great. Okay.
All great ideas,
All great ideas come from Pinterest.
So they're just kind of sort of good if they're gray ideas, right?
Oh, they're great or they're gray?
If they're gray.
Now, you struggled to say great last time.
Yeah, but you just said gray instead
Did
of
I?
great.
I was just...
You did.
Okay. All right, slam.
Yes.
So all great ideas come from Pinterest.
Right. Or at least they start
there. All right.
The mind gets going when you see things there. So I was flipping through and I found these really cool diaper changing stations for those who are having a new baby on the way or already have a new baby.
Or have kids who have not quite yet, hit that fully functional stage.
You're hoping not.
Yeah, it gets worse as they get older. But.
Exactly. So people took old entertainment centers, either the cupboard kind that have the doors and the drawers underneath, or the really huge ones that were meant for a really giant TV and they had shelves on both sides and it was more like a statement piece than anything else. And they changed them into baby changing stations, spaces for diapers and clothes and wipes and all that stuff. A little pad in the very center of it for the baby, obviously. Sometimes the little lights, LED lights or a little tap light or something for better lighting in there. Great way to reuse these things.
It is great. We were looking at a few of them that we're going to put on, in our show notes or at least on our Pinterest page, and I'll explain that later. But they've taken, like Betsy's saying, the shelves that typically would have held all the equipment, the components,
right?
And those now have a couple of little crates or a couple of little baskets with whatever, diapers, all of those different
stuff
things.
You need at the ready.
They're hanging stuff on the back of the wall, little baskets that will hold other items that you might need.
Right.
The little mat inside. And then the neat thing is, because this thing, when we had these at home, I always hated them.
Right.
Not this particular, not an entertainment center,
yeah.
but a changing table, a changing station, whatever it was. Ours was just a table.
Right.
And it was so messy because you've got all these open shelves full of all these different things that apparently babies need.
Right.
Babies need way more things than grown-ups need, apparently.
They make a bigger mess, and you have to clean it up.
Way bigger mess. And so I'd come into the room, and you spend all this time to make this nursery look like something. You're really focused on making it look nice, making it look cute, whatever you want.
Yes.
And then you take this eyesore and put it in the middle, and it's just full of random things.
Right.
The nice thing about these is you can close it all up.
Right.
And it still keeps the room looking clean, looking organized.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool idea.
A space for everything and everything in its place.
Exactly. Now, another idea that we stumbled on with the same concept, taking an entertainment center and putting it to a different kind of use. And this particular one was, would you call these potting sheds? What would you call these? They're not really sheds because you can't go inside.
Yeah, they're not a shed, and they're not really a bench. They're like a potting center.
A potting center.
We'll call it a potting
center.
center.
Instead of an entertainment center, it's a potting center.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically, imagine these on like a covered front porch or,
right.
Some of the pictures look like they're sitting outside. But, folks, even with exterior paint, if you put this kind of wood outside, that's not going to last very long.
No.
So you would probably want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
And by probably, I mean definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's just
in your
put
garage,
a fine point
maybe.
on this. Yeah. So in a covered area where it's free from being exposed to rain and stuff like that.
Or put it on casters, and you could
Move
roll
it around.
outside and then inside when it's going to rain and things like that.
But what they've done with these, one particular one that I thought was really cool, really interesting, was they took the backer out and replaced it with pegboard.
Yeah, very handy.
Now from there, they've got a place to hang different tools, different things that they might need for potting plants, whatever you might be doing.
Right.
And then they've got bins on the shelves and, using all the drawers underneath for whatever purpose
I
you would
can
want.
see right now that my mom is going to go out and she's going to start looking for an old entertainment center along the side of the road. And when I go home next time, she's going to be like, guess what? I have something for you to do, because she's going to listen to this. This was a bad idea.
Oh, so she's going to latch onto this right away.
Yeah, I already made her a potting bench. Now she's going to want one
now
of
your
these.
potting bench looks like garbage compared to these.
Oh,
these are the Cadillacs.
My potting bench is
of course.
awesome.
Here we go, folks.
I'll have to show you a picture.
Everything
it's pretty
Betsy
good.
does is awesome.
No,
in Betsy's mind.
But this one was pretty good. It's really big, though. It's really a pain to move.
It's a pain to move. These don't
should
look like
be
they're
easy.
easy. These are easy to move if you put wheels on them.
If you put wheels on them.
Do you think if somebody leaves them on the side of the road that we could ask them to put wheels on them before we move them? Because
Good luck.
it would be easier.
It would be easier. Good luck.
All right. So using them as a potting center is another way. Now I'll let you start this idea, because we both thought this was really cool. We both found these completely
separately.
Yeah, but I knew as soon as I saw this,
yes,
I knew that you were going to think this was pretty cool.
Of course I do. And since it's so early in the morning, this really, gets right at my heart.
Now we should tell people, because they're just listening.
Right.
But we're recording, and it's what, 5 a.m? No, wouldn't that be?
No. How about
we're
like
not
8:30?
that dedicated, folks. Yeah, it's 8:30, but for us that still feels early.
Yeah, because usually we're afternoon people, and now we're morning people. So this was really cool. It's a coffee bar. So it's got your coffee maker. If you have one of those neat little Keurig things, it's got all your little K-cups and all that stuff. Little baskets underneath to hold whatever you may need. Stir sticks and little napkins. Spots for coffee mugs. The one shows little hooks that are in the ceiling of the old entertainment center that you can put the coffee mugs on. Another one has a spot that looks like it probably housed a DVD or VHS player
it's the
or
shelf
something.
for the components.
Right, and that has coffee mugs on it. But the really cool thing that you can do is put anaglypta wallpaper, which is that textured embossed wallpaper.
You're going to have to explain that more.
What?
Help people understand what that is. We know what that is. But that just sounds like a crazy word.
Is like an
a southern tree or something. I was standing out under the anaglyptas, right? And then the leaves.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that's a weeping willow.
Well, I'm sure there's trees that sound like.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
just going to
stretching.
let you go right now.
Okay. So anaglypta is a really cool wallpaper that's embossed, and it can be painted. You can do all kinds of cool finishes on it. So it's textured, and it looks like it has a pattern. When you paint over it, it highlights some areas. So it's a very neat thing, and it's a nice thing to do instead of that plain old backer that comes with an entertainment center. Just put this right over top. It'll work great.
So you can paint it. You can faux finish it in a way.
Well, you can paint them and then do like a gel stain over top and wipe that in so that it gets in all the little grooves and things in the pattern. There are so many things that you can do.
We'll try to find some samples that I'll put in the show notes, because this is it's really cool.
Yeah, right.
Now, is it expensive?
It's not.
Into it. I didn't think it was.
It's really inexpensive, and especially for a really small project like this, you'll get a lot of miles out of one roll of this stuff. And then, it's just the cost of the paint, probably about a quart. And then, if you choose to do a stain or something over top, obviously another little added expense. But this is stuff that, you could use on multiple projects.
Cool. So here's another idea. And I guess I'm going to let you lead on this one too, because you bossed this in to the episode.
I just thought it was fabulous for all the ladies out there who have shoes like I do, like my sister does, like I know a lot of women do. They took entertainment centers and they made them into basically shoe organizers or shoe closets. Maybe replace the glass in them depending on, what the doors looked like.
Now, we're not talking the kind of shoes that I own, because nobody would put those on display. We put those in the garage somewhere and then just leave them there. These are fancier shoes. Right? They look nice.
These are the heels that you only wear every now and again to go out when you get really dressed up.
The or ones when I take out the garbage. Every now and then I do that in heels.
Really?
Right? No.
Oh, I'd love to see you in some of my rhinestone heels.
I don't think that would be very good. I don't think that'd be a good look.
I don't know. It might match your eyes.
It might.
Maybe.
Doubt it.
So then there's also doors below in one of these that, you can put those really dirty sneakers that you mow the grass in.
Don't they smell, though? Don't you think that would smell?
I don't know. To me, they always just smell like grass and dirt.
Not at our house. They have a different aroma.
Well, speak for yourself,
keep those. Well, I'm not talking about mine. I have teenage sons.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I don't even know that there's a name for the smell.
Teenage son?
It could be.
Teenage boy.
Yeah, it's not a good smell. You don't put that in the house. Every now and then they do. And
lots of teenage boys smell the same, I hate to tell you.
Yeah, well, that makes me feel better. You should be glad to tell me that mine don't have some kind of genetic
It's not just yours.
Going on. Okay.
Well, that I cannot guarantee, but
it's possible, folks.
Right.
But not definite.
Right.
So we could, if you have nice smelling kids, or they have nice smelling feet or shoes, you could put them in the bins underneath.
Right. And then the really cool thing is they've painted the inside. Now, I am not a huge pink person. Definitely not my favorite
You're wearing
color.
A pink thing.
That's because it's breast cancer awareness.
Okay.
Cause is very near and dear to my heart. Okay. So that's why it's pink.
I wasn't challenging you, other than the fact that you just said you weren't wearing.
No, I said I don't really like pink.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This is the only reason I like pink.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell us about the pink
I wouldn't
cabinet.
paint pink generally.
All right.
Let's just put it that way. So this cabinet, they've painted the entire inside pink. Now, obviously, I might not paint it pink. I might paint it a different color. But it just really highlights the shoes. It brings them out, and it gives it something other than the boring old wood color or black, because then they'll tend to blend in a little bit, especially black shoes.
Well, that's something to mention, just very quickly about any of the items that we talked about. They can be cool repurposing these entertainment centers into something else. That's cool in one regard.
Right.
But a lot of the ones that really stood out to us were ones that they really did something different on the inside as well. Like the coffee bar had one. Those particular ones that we showed and that you can find on our Pinterest page.
Right.
That had like a tin ceiling insert back there. Right. But the backer was cool.
Right.
And the shoe thing that we're looking at, it's a black front with pink backer. And that's very
really
cool.
sharp.
It's very sharp. So definitely think about that. There are all kinds of different things that you could be doing with these. Wallpaper in the back. Not just the anaglypta, but wallpaper with pattern, wallpaper with colors.
Yep. It's just that little pop of color that we like to talk about. Just a little bit of it. Mm-hmm. And it's a good way to use Pantone's color of the year.
Which is pink. That's right. So definitely, if that was on your bucket list, not that anybody out there needs a bucket list. I don't want to imply that we're to that stage in life. But definitely,
hey, I have a bucket list.
Well, that's good then. That's not bad.
I think everyone should have a bucket list.
So that doesn't mean that I'm suggesting that someone's on their way out.
No, I think it's just, goals, things that you want to accomplish in your life, and you better start it early, because otherwise you won't accomplish them. If you wait till you're 65...
Just make a very small bucket list.
Right.
Then you can accomplish it.
There's a lot of things I want to do, though.
That way I make it.
Oh, okay then. I'd rather just start early.
Yeah, it's your way versus mine. We'll see who completes more items.
Right.
Let's see who completes their bucket list. Okay. Not more items, because mine only has a couple of things on it. And I've already done them, so I'm ready to go.
Okay, then. Let's remember that.
There are all kinds of different projects out there. There's really not time to go into all of the different ones, but
Right.
so many cool ones.
Right.
We're going to leave it there, though, and we're going to move on to another piece of furniture that can be repurposed into a tremendous variety of items, and I'm talking about dressers.
Right. And the first project we're going to talk about is probably the most common, and it's using the dresser as storage shelves. Now, sometimes you'll see pictures of them where they've taken all but one drawer. The very bottom drawer is left in. The rest, they must put like plywood or something, because I know a lot of dressers just once you take the drawer out,
there's just
it
open
goes,
space.
Right.
So check that out. I was looking into that too. We've got a couple dressers at home because I was thinking about doing this,
Right.
and a couple of them open up all the way through. Right. So we would have to we'd pull out tracks and stuff like that and put plywood in there.
Right.
Other ones are completely solid except for those tracks.
Right. So you just pull the track out.
Definitely pay attention to it, but either way, no matter which structure it is, what it looks like,
you can make
it
work.
work.
Right. So then they just put baskets in where the drawers used to be, various sizes, some real small ones for the little things and a little bit bigger ones for larger things, hats, scarves. Great in an entryway or something like that where you want everything neat and tidy, but you don't want necessarily a dresser sitting there. This is a good way of doing that.
Because it gives you the storage that
right.
but it just doesn't look like a dresser. That's the thing that's cool. It doesn't look like you've got bedroom furniture sitting in your entry. It looks like it's supposed to be there when you've pulled the drawers out and you've got these baskets in there.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be just baskets. We've seen other ones where they put glassware and all their, dishes and stuff like that.
Kind of like a buffet type thing you might put in your dining room.
That's the word I was looking for.
Really?
Thanks, Betsy.
I could see that bubble over top of your head.
With question marks?
Right.
That bubble's there
buffet,
all the
question
time.
Mark, question mark. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then I forget what I'm even thinking about. And
right.
Just grab my coffee so I look like I'm doing something.
Yes, exactly.
So, but it doesn't have to be just baskets or stuff like that. But anything, pull the shelves out, tins. There's all kinds of different things that you could put on the shelves to create storage, different places to use it, kids' rooms for toys.
Yep.
The ideas just go on and on and on.
Exactly.
The fun thing about these is just what can you come up with?
Right.
There really is no, here's the 4 items or 4 things that you can do with this. It's really open-ended.
Yeah.
And people get really creative.
I know.
We started with the first, the basics here, but we've seen other ones where they've taken, like everybody wants a kitchen island. Remember we talked about this in the very first episode, and I wondered if we were talking about The Walking Dead, or somehow I got to The Walking Dead.
Imagine that.
My mind rambled, folks. Who'd have thought?
Huh.
But in this case, here's a kitchen island that they made out of dressers.
Right.
So they've
Very
taken
cool.
them, and again, it's hard to describe all of this. We're just trying to throw ideas out there to get your mind to get excited about some of these ideas, because there are so many different things you can do.
Yep.
We've got pictures on our Pinterest page, so we'll tell you how to get there later. But what they've done is they've taken, not necessarily, they haven't taken the tops off of these, but they've added larger tops. One that I read about, the lady put the whole thing together, and then she found a coffee table at I think that was on Craigslist in the free section.
Yeah.
And she just took the top off the coffee table. It had a butcher block look to it, which is what she was looking for. And that's what she put on top of this. So it extends over. So it's bigger than the dresser. It gives you that overlap. So basically you could put stools under it, something like that. So it's a sitting area.
Yep.
And all of that, very quick, very easy way to get, and very inexpensive, because a lot of us have things like this just sitting around that we don't know what to use or what to do with it.
Or it's spring cleaning time.
Exactly.
You can find them alongside the road.
Make sure, folks, that they are alongside the road, though.
And they say free, or they look like they're in a trash pile, not just in someone's front yard.
If they're in someone's garage, technically, they might still want it.
Right.
In fact, there's a good chance.
Right. Unless it's a garage sale, which, again, it's that time of year, garage sailing. And you just brought up another good one.
I did?
Yeah, Craigslist.
Awesome.
They have a lot of stuff. People just want to get rid of it. They put it up there, free or, really not expensive.
You need to bring a shopping buddy when you do Craigslist, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some elements of creepiness there.
Yes.
I would need a shopping buddy.
Yes.
Somebody could just snatch me right up.
Uh-huh.
They probably would like to.
Probably.
I look like I'm kind of fun. I'm kind of that novelty size.
That pint size?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
Thank you. I guess I set it up.
Yep.
So anyway, kitchen islands. That's a very good idea.
Then this one is Dan's favorite, seating and storage and things like that.
No, because I like to sit. I mean, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
No, just because you found these so intriguing.
I found one looks like a little throne, and I would
and
really
Dan
like
really
a little
wants
throne.
a throne.
I always think that'd be fun.
I'm going to work on that for you.
See, one of the things that I've wanted to do, but I never have. We're in a little studio that we built that's in a warehouse.
And you want a throne in here?
No. But in the office right next door, our warehouse manager, he's got a better title than that, doesn't he?
I don't know. You've been here longer than I have.
What is Jim?
Does he have a title?
Yeah.
Other than
my
warehouse
goodness,
manager?
Yeah. Well, he's important. He does purchasing manager. He would be the general purchaser.
Yeah.
Purchasing. Anyway, he's got a little table and chairs in his office. He's got an enormous office, way bigger than everybody else's office.
Yes.
Not sure exactly why. Probably because he's so important and there was a lot of space here.
That must be.
Anyway, he's got this table and chairs that's a very high, what do they call it? It's like
high
a
top?
bistro. Yeah, like you see at a, let's just say high top table. So high chairs. I want to haul one of those back to the office. And I want to sit on that whenever I have people into the office so that I tower over them. Wouldn't that be fun?
Wow.
I mean, it'd be a little awkward at first.
Hold on. Dan's head is stifling me. I can hardly breathe anymore.
Well, it's not real. I just think it'd be fun to
have.
But like this, what we're looking at
I think
here,
you're compensating for something.
What would that be?
Your height.
My height. Thank you for clarifying and keeping this family friendly.
Hey, no problem.
Anyway, so we've started with dressers used, just pulling out the drawers and putting shelves in.
Right.
Then we talked about using them in a kitchen island.
Right.
Now we're getting to this seating and storage thing to bring us back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Right.
Thanks, Betsy, for taking us off down, the Neverland Trail.
Sure, my fault.
What they've done, I think, first off, there's this little chair that they've made, like a little bench, like for maybe for a mudroom area. This one actually is way cooler than for a mudroom area. An entryway.
Yeah.
But they've cut the top 3 drawers out of the dresser.
Yep.
And put a bench seat in. Mm-hmm. They've got the drawer underneath. Looks like they cut the legs down a little bit, but they made a little chair.
Right.
And it's so cool. You've got a drawer underneath, like you said, for an entryway or something.
Yep.
We've got a chest in the entryway that we put a bench seat on, kind of.
Right.
And the kids can throw all their gloves, their mittens, stuff like that, right into the open up the drawer, but then they can sit there to put their boots on and stuff like that. This kind of idea.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting. And I don't even know how practical it is because it's probably not terribly comfortable.
Well, if you're just putting on your shoes, it doesn't need...
Comfort matters at all times, Betsy.
Comfort doesn't matter when you're putting on your shoes. It makes you hurry up. Do you want your kids sitting there all day, or do you want them getting out and getting out the door?
My comfort.
Oh.
That's what I'm
concerned
about. So
you really are just concerned about yourself and no one else.
Well,
it
sounds worse when you say it that way. But... So anyway,
I'm sorry to all the Hanson kids out there.
That's all right. They've been apologized to before.
Uh-huh.
They're used to it. But anyway, it's not terribly, maybe comfortable, but it is so interesting. It is definitely something.
It's a conversation piece.
Exactly. It's a great item to put in the home that will draw interest, and you can build around it.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cool item in a kid's room or in a teen room or in a grown-up person's room. I guess an adult is the word we should use. I live with kids.
Yeah.
Another idea that I thought was really cool is they took a longer dresser. Mm-hmm. Is there a special name for that? We'll just say a longer dresser. A longer, shorter dresser. This isn't a chest of drawers going
There is a name for it, but I'm not really sure what it is.
Okay, Betsy doesn't know.
And neither does Dan.
I just don't want to tell Betsy.
Right.
But it's a shorter,
I see question
longer,
marks.
They're always there. And what they've done is they've cut it down, again, made it into a bench.
Right.
The thing that I thought was kind of cool about this one is they took the 2 of the drawers out that were from the area that they removed.
Yep.
So they made this little bench. They've got these 2 drawers.
And they added taller legs.
They added legs to it. Right, definitely.
That's the key here.
And we've got pictures in the notes. So hopefully while you're listening to this, you can just bop right. Bop! That's my voice breaking, and there's no way to edit that out. So we're just going to have to roll with it. So you can just bop right on over to the Pinterest page, and you can find.
I love that you just said bop.
Is that bad? You can move right on over. You can mosey on down. Anyway, you can you can go to the Pinterest page, and
Yes.
it looks like a Lego table is what they've done.
Yep.
I don't even know where I'm going. They've got these drawers where they've got these leftover drawers. They've
Yep.
made a little cover for it, so it's a bench.
Yep.
So you can sit on it. But the bench part removes,
Mm-hmm.
and kids can throw all their little Legos and stuff like that in there.
Right.
Slide it under.
Yep.
So the whole thing has this really cool look. It's
Right.
a play table. They can pull it out, get Legos out of the bins
Yep.
that they're using to sit at.
Right.
It's just a very cool thing.
Yeah, it is very cool.
A lot of-
And all the drawers on it look like Lego blocks. That's the other cool thing. Bright colors. So, again, good way to bring color into a kid's room, which is something simple like this. And it's repurposing something maybe you already own.
Right.
All right. We hope the projects we talked about got you thinking. I know it got us thinking. In fact, as we were going over the notes, we found ourselves talking about how we need to pick up some furniture and start one of these projects. We both kind of have the itch to be a little bit creative.
I'm sure I'll do it wrong, and Betsy will point that out, but
It's okay.
I'm still interested
I'll
in
help you
trying.
along.
Thank you.
If we do, we'll definitely post notes and pictures on our blog, which you can find, by the way, at repcolite.com. And if you've undertaken a cool project and would like to share your results with the rest of us, just email a picture to colormehome@repcolite.com. We'd love to know what you're working on and see your creative projects.
And if you have any questions or even suggestions for topics that Betsy and I could discuss, be sure to drop us a note. The email address, once again, is colormehome@repcolite.com. Send us a question or suggest a topic, and if we use it on a future episode, we'll send you a gift certificate for a free gallon of paint at any RepcoLite or Port City Paints or Snyder Paint store for our Indiana listeners.
Right.
And one last thing. I talked about this all throughout the episode, but we've created a Pinterest page that's exclusively for Color Me Home.
Sweet.
Now there you're going to find all of the pictures that of the projects that we discussed during each episode,
Right.
and more, because we can't cover everything that
No.
we'd sure like to. Now we've placed the link for each episode board right in the show notes for each episode, which is kind of a clumsy sentence, but you know what I'm saying. You go
Yes.
to the show notes for the episode, there'll be a link right there that will take you,
To the
while you're
Pinterest
listening,
thing.
you can still navigate on another page to the Pinterest page,
Right.
and then see what we're actually talking about.
Right.
So just go to repcolite.com and click the Color Me Home link on the home page. You'll be able to figure out the rest from there. It's that easy. And of
Right.
course, all of the listeners are insanely smart.
Exactly.
And they've got excellent
It's a good thing
taste.
you've covered yourself there.
They're very smart listeners. They've
Of course.
found us.
Exactly. And while you're there, don't forget to be sure to subscribe to our podcast via RSS feed or now on iTunes. Subscribe today and you're never going to miss another episode. So until next time, thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Color Me Home, brought to you by RepcoLite Paints. Everything discussed in this episode can be found in our show notes at repcolite.com. Just click the Color Me Home tab on the home page. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, you can contact Betsy and Dan by email. The address is colormehome@repcolite.com. That's colormehome@repcolite.com.